Hello everyone, it's Amanda here again with Eat, Pray, Crunch. I'm going to wait for a couple seconds here for everyone to get on here. And I'm sorry if the quality is not great. I'm actually going to try and speak up. Realized in my last live video you guys couldn't hear me very well. So, and I noticed in my last vlog that I uploaded that I had comments. I haven't had comments in almost 2 years, so I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, are they giving me back my comments right now? I don't know. It would be amazing if they were. But sometimes I get glitches in like one random video and then it goes back to no comments, so we'll see if I have comments or not on this one. But anyway, I'm assuming all of you guys are at home, as you should be, like we are in this crazy pandemic. It's just, the whole world just seems so like surreal and Twilight Zone right now, doesn't it? It's bizarre. Yeah, like we haven't experienced anything like this in our lifetimes. Nobody alive has, unless you were alive in 1918, in which case you're 100 years old and probably wouldn't remember it anyway. That's when they had the, what was it called, the Spanish flu pandemic. But yeah, I mean, this is crazy. It's unprecedented in our lifetimes. Like, it's, you know, everybody is under a state of emergency right now. We live in Washington State, and our governor yesterday just called a shelter-in-place order. So everybody is being called to be home right now. I think you are allowed to go outside for walks, but you still have to stay at least 6 feet away from other people. It's crazy. But what's even crazier is the people who are not taking this seriously right now. We are lovingly calling them the COVIDiots. And like, they're in our community too. Like, I went for a walk with kids the other day. We were practicing social distancing, all the things, and there were like kids, like huge groups of kids at the park and teenagers playing basketball, and like that defeats the whole purpose. I'm on live. You want to say hi? Talking about how my surgery was canceled. So
yeah, so they're not going to do it when there's a few
I haven't actually talked about it yet.
COVID patients. They're going to wait a week and do it when there's more, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because bureaucracy.
Yeah. There's not a lot of common sense. So yeah, let's talk about that. So with this pandemic, the hospital has just gone through the roof with their precautions. And the thing is, I had just the very, very mildest runny nose and just a hint of a scratchy throat that lasted like 2 days, and like just a little bit of fatigue. I slept more that day. Bill had the exact same symptoms, and so did my mother-in-law. They were not, I mean, it was almost, you know, we were questioning, is this allergies or is this a cold? It was so mild, and it was more annoying than anything. So yesterday, because I was supposed to have my surgery today, yesterday the pre-surgery people called me and they ask you all the questions about your medications and, you know, health, things like that. The very last thing they ask you is the COVID-19 questions. I'm like, shouldn't that be the very first thing they ask you, since that's kind of like a make or break kind of thing? But no, I spent a half an hour with the nurse on the phone asking all these questions, and then at the very end she asks me these questions, and she was like, okay, do you have any fever, cough, body aches, flu-like symptoms, or runny nose or sore throat within the last week? And I said, I haven't had any flu-like symptoms, but I had just the ever so slightest runny nose. It didn't even turn into congestion. It was just like 2 days and it was gone. Pretty sure that I didn't have COVID-19, considering we are so, we're being so over the top careful right now with isolating because of my surgery. Like, We've been sanitizing our groceries. Like, we've been doing all the things. It's pretty unlikely that that's what we had. But in the hospital has to be over the top cautious right now because like surgeons and doctors are starting to get it and everything. But I was like, she said, so, okay, I'm going to need to talk to my administrator about this because you had a runny nose a week ago. And I was like, are you serious? And so she gets back on. She's like, yep, we're going to have to cancel your surgery. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I have cancer. Like, could you not test me to make sure that I don't have COVID-19? Apparently they don't have enough tests unless it's for extreme severe patients who have obvious symptoms. It's, oh my gosh. So yeah, they canceled my surgery. And I was like, okay, can we just please reschedule it as soon as possible? And she was like, okay, you have to be 14 days, no symptoms. I hear a fussy little 2-year-old up there. I think Bill is taking care of him. Anyway, so yeah, I was kind of in shock. Like, I was preparing, like, we had all our childcare. Like, my mother-in-law was already here to spend the night with the kids. Yeah. So she's like, I'm sorry, we're going to have to reschedule it. So they've rescheduled my surgery for April 1st. So all that is to say, like, I'm trying to keep my perspective about this because, like, even though I think that it's a little ridiculous, like, shouldn't they be testing, like, cancer patients and critical surgery patients ahead of time? It seems like that would be a really high priority if they are being that precautious and protecting everybody, which I'm all for. Like, trust me, I am taking this extremely seriously, and everybody needs to be as well, and especially for protecting doctors. But if it's that serious, they really need to be testing their surgery patients ahead of time. But that's not the case right now. There aren't enough tests. So, yeah. So I'm just trying to keep perspective about it. Hello to Ali. But yeah, so I'm trying to keep perspective, and I know that a lot of elective surgeries and even cancer patients with slow growing cancers right now are having their surgeries completely canceled, just like utterly called off. So I am still really thankful that I still get to have surgery, even though it's postponed. But I understand they have to be this precautious right now because it's a very serious thing and a lot of people are dying and our medical system is already being overrun. And so it's a hard time. It's just a hard time, and it's just kind of crazy to me that this is happening right in the middle of a global pandemic. The timing is just kind of crazy. And so, yeah, there's a question about will the cancer grow with a 1 week delay? Probably not. I have a moderately, it's growing at a moderate pace. So 1 week, it's not likely to grow very much, thankfully. I have a good friend who is the head nurse at the breast center at one of the local hospitals. Actually, I feel so thankful that I have a friend like that. But she said, I don't need to worry. Oh, hi, Shell. Nice to see you. Thank you for the prayers. Um, but yeah, she said it's unlikely that it will grow very much in that time. And I can like feel the tumor in there, and it has grown a little. And because it was in 2 spots, and the other spot I can start to feel it grow a little, but it's still like very down low. Oh, hi, Alicia. Thank you. Yeah, it's a crazy time. It's a crazy time for everyone right now. So yeah, but thankfully the cancer still seems to be pretty low in my breast, and like I keep, feeling up by my lymph nodes and everything, and I'm not feel it doesn't feel like it's spreading. Like I'm a massage therapist, and so like I have a pretty strong sense of touch. Sorry about Teo crying in the background. He's not getting what he wants, and Bill is dealing with it. um, so 1 week delay should be okay. Um, the other thing that I am trying to do right now is I left a message with the nurse for my oncologist about getting on estrogen blockers right now, because my cancer is like 99% estrogen positive. And I explained this in my other video, meaning that the cancer cells themselves have receptors for estrogen. So this was a treatment that they were going to be doing for me anyway, was putting me on estrogen blockers, which basically starves the cancer because the kind of cancer I have feeds on estrogen. And so I've even heard of some other people where they just completely canceled their breast cancer surgeries and just put them on estrogen blockers if it's this kind of cancer that I have. Um, so I'm going to be trying to get on that sooner rather than later, because before they were going to just put me on it after surgery, but with everything going on, it would make a lot of sense for me to just go on it now, just to stop the growth until I can get surgery. I mean, and I'm hoping everything is changing every day, and it seems like even, I talked to the surgery nurse, and she was like, if you had had your surgery like days prior, your runny nose would not have been reason to cancel your surgery. But this was like within the few previous days beforehand that the hospital administration changed the policy. So things are changing daily, and I'm hoping and praying that by April 1st, I will still be able to get my surgery. I could really use some prayers around that. I made a Facebook post on my personal Facebook page so all my friends and family know. Um, but the things that we really need prayer for are that I can still get my surgery at this point, that nothing more changes, that we don't get any sort of colds or flus or anything. We are stocked up on groceries and everything. We're just kind of like hunkering down. We're not leaving the house. We're not even like going on walks right now. So it's, um, yeah, a little crazy. um, so yeah, we need prayers for that. We need prayers that when I do get my surgery, that they get it completely and that it has not spread to my lymph nodes yet. And even if it has, that just doing the estrogen block are enough to basically just halt the cancer, and that I don't have to do chemo, because of all times to do chemo, this is the absolute worst time, because it basically shuts off your immune system, and that is the last thing I need right now. So really could use prayers that I don't need chemo and that we can still manage just with the estrogen blockers. So yeah. Oh, and the other thing, which I also have not updated on YouTube, I did on Facebook, is that when I do go in for surgery, um, I'm not going to be able to have Bill with me or any sort of family members, because that is also a change that was made in the last week. Hospitals are not allowing anyone inside the hospital who is not a scheduled patient. So I'm going to have to go in alone. So that's going to be kind of crazy. So I really am going to need some prayer for comfort and just like, God's strength with me when I am going through that, because I'm not going to have any loved ones physically with me while I'm doing it. Thankfully, they are letting me take like the strong anti-anxiety medication the day of. That will help a lot. And I'm just going to be unconscious having surgery for the rest of the time. I'm kind of hoping that they will let me go home that night so that I don't have to spend the night in the hospital, and I can reduce the amount of time that I'm in the hospital. That would be ideal, so that that would be another thing to pray for, is that my surgery goes really well and that I don't have any complications, and that recovery goes really well from the get-go, so that I can leave the dang hospital and get away from there when I am done and stay away. And that just recovery goes smoothly. So yeah, so that is what is going on. And I made a post about this on Facebook today, that like, this is really it's really like, what did I say? It's like kind of like powerlifting for your emotions and your mental state, mental fortitude. Like, going through really hard stuff, it really is like strengthening a muscle. Every time you go through something hard, it really does make you stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's true. I feel like between being on anxiety medication and tapping into the strength of God, it really is making me a stronger person. And like, I'm like, if I can get through cancer in the middle of a global pandemic, like, hell, I can get through anything. So yeah, so I hope that's encouraging to you all, that like, this is a really hard time for everyone, and just know that hard times really do make us stronger if we allow them to. So try to keep that perspective. I know that a lot of people are struggling like financially and in a lot of ways, and I am just praying for you all as well. And I pray that you can keep that perspective, that this is an opportunity for this is an opportunity for this hard time to make us stronger, and kind of bring us together as humanity a little bit more. So yeah, that's my prayer for all of you and for everyone. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's see if this video has comments on the replay. I will check to see if it does, and if it does, then I don't have to post it in my community tab, and if it doesn't, then I will post it in my community tab and you can leave comments there. So yeah, before I close, thank you, Alicia, and everybody else watching. Thank you, Shell. I love you guys. You guys are such loyal friends, and I appreciate all the prayers and the support and everything. So before I go, if you guys have any questions before I go? While I'm still live, let me know. It doesn't look like it. So yeah, I will sign off, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will keep you posted, and we'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye.